All right, everybody, I'll be with you in just a second. I am still working on all of these fancy new tools I'm getting, trying to make things a bit better for you. Guys, we're going back to that 2016 Jeep, this was a Cherokee, not a Grand Cherokee, 2016 Jeep Cherokee that has been an absolute nightmare for me. I won't lie, this has got to be one of the most difficult cars that I've worked on in a real long time. I mean, this thing has been an absolute butt whooping for me. So that is cool that that happens sometimes. I'm just trying to check and make sure everything looks good here. If you guys have any problems, let me know in the comments and I will be able to hopefully see what's going on there. That's going to be the hard part. And you know, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know. But anyhow, that being said, we're back to this 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Guys, I tried to actually program a used computer via EEPROM, and my hot air soldering skills are not what they need to be. I was trying forever to get a in-circuit chip read, couldn't get it to go through, so I messed around for quite some time, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, trying to get this thing to work, and it was driving me bonkers. So I actually hot air unsoldered the chip. I read it. I was able to read the EEPROM data. I tried to put that into the new used computer, and I was getting corrupt vehicle information. It was just a disaster. It didn't work out well. I need to practice that more. So we got a brand new computer, and I went back and I tried to program it. And guys, this was not a fun job. It kept on airing out. I had all kinds of problems going on, but you know, we're working on getting to the base of the problem. And I'll be the first one to tell you, you know, looking back at this vehicle, all the ins and outs and different things going on, you know, it's been quite the challenge. So we're going to take a look here. I'm going to go ahead and play a clip for you. This is the first clip. I'm going to play this and we'll catch up afterwards. Well, guys, this Jeep has been one of the most challenging vehicles that I've worked on in some time. And I got to tell you, I'm not 100% sure that I'm on it. I think I am, but then I'm not because I get some mixed results. And I'm going to share with you a couple things going on here. First, you see this message on the cluster saying make sure you push this brake pedal to start and all this nonsense, and the security light flashing on and off. Guys, this is the one, if you didn't watch the other video, we got a brand new computer from Chrysler installed in there. I tried to program it and I had tons of errors. All kinds of issues going on. I believe the main problem was the PCM was not going to sleep. As you see, the PCM is asleep right now. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the unlock button on this car. I'll show you something up. I hit unlock. So it's unlocked and you can see the PCM still asleep. Let's go back in the trunk and I'm going to show you something here. Let's take a walk. And inside the trunk, we do have the park brake module, electronic park brake modules over there. And we have a connector here, where to go for the rear drivetrain control unit. It goes for all kinds of stuff. I want to plug this in and see what happens. I'm going to show you. I don't know if you could hear, but all kinds of stuff clickety-clacked up front. And now my PCM is saying non-responsive. Do you see this orange? Interesting stuff. So I think what has happened is this vehicle. So I gotta tell you, looking here at this computer being unresponsive, this is kind of like, hey man, this is a big problem. I don't know what's happening here. And I'm hoping when I go back to this video clip, it doesn't start playing at the beginning. Guys, so and it did. Hold on, wrong section there. I'm going to fast forward that. I'm sorry, guys. I kind of got that jacked up. But we had ourselves an unresponsive ECM or PCM until I go back and disconnect this connector. So this is quite interesting. And as you see, as I live stream, I'm kind of jacking stuff up here. Voltage, millivolts going on. So that's what's happening there. And as you see here, the key's off and we have all these problems. The PCM became responsive. Now, when we unplugged this connector in the back, everything else had came back to life. And as you see, I'm learning, don't touch the silly buttons on the controller as I'm trying to do this. So guys, I'm sorry about that, but what's going on here is this thing is, depending on whether we have that connector that goes to the rear drivetrain control unit, there's a drivetrain control module that is on top of the, actually inside of the vehicle, right behind the hatch. And that is plugged in right now, and we're okay. There's a connector that goes to the rear drivetrain control unit, which I'm going to show you in a diagram here in a second, and that is where all of our problems were. Now, one thing I got to tell you is I did try to check for a draw after we got this thing going to sleep. The whole vehicle was going to sleep, and I do apologize if this is not going the way I had hoped. I'll go ahead and make another video on that, but I do want to show you all here, taking a look at this diagram. Here's the diagram of the vehicle, and if you look at this fused ignition switch output right here, this is a circuit that is supposed to be powered on with the ignition switch in the run position. Guys, I checked for powers at this point on the computer to make sure everything was good, and I had power when I expected to have power. What I didn't check here was to make sure that I did not have power, or should I say that the key was turning off. So that's where I went wrong. If you follow this circuit right here, this pink and light green, which I had highlighted here, if we go all the way over here, that goes up to this fuse 30. It's a 10 amp fuse, and this fuse is the one of the ones that was staying hot at all times on this vehicle. So when I say it's staying hot, it was juiced up. Not battery voltage, but we had that 5.1 volts on there, and that was causing an issue. So like I said, gentlemen and ladies, I am sorry I messed up my little presentation. I'm trying to learn how to do that, but here we go. Look in here. This circuit that's hot all the time, or should I say has that 5.1 volts, we had to go to the power strain or power distribution circuits. That's power and ground distributions. And we'll find that that circuit is right here. This is our powertrain control module down here, and this was getting fed at 5 point something volts. And I had to go ahead and look at this whole diagram and figure out one at a time which fuse was it getting backfed from. And if you can see here, let me try and click on this without clicking on it. This goes to all these other fuses all around here. There's so many fuses that could be backfeeding, but it ended up being this fuse over here. Let me get to it. Oh, wrong way, Brian. Let's get back here. It ended up being this fuse right here. If I took this fuse out, let's get this undone. This fuse 14, this 10 amp fuse right here, if I took this out, our voltage on that circuit went to 0 volts or around 100 something millivolts. So we knew that was the problem, and that's where all the issues were. So that was very interesting at that point. We knew we had the 5 volts right here when we shouldn't. If we turned the key to the run position, we had 12 volts going on here all the time. So at this point, I went to the drivetrain control module, I unplugged it, we still had this voltage backfeeding, and then at that point we went over here to this 502 connector, and I disconnected this connector, and the problem went away. So I believe the problem is going to be in the rear driveline control module. This is bolted up on top of the differential. The shop is telling me it's a great deal of hassle to try to get to. So, and you know, without having the vehicle up in the air, it's going to be very difficult. It isn't like you jack this thing up and the axle goes down, because this is a independent suspension rear drivetrain, so the differential is going to stay the same spot at all times. So that's not going to be the case. But I got to tell you guys, this was a very challenging procedure and job here. For those of you that are still watching, I'm probably just going to redo this whole video and put it up there, not as a live production, because I apologize for me hitting the button. I guess I got to learn how to work this better on the live stream. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know, and I'll try right now to go in there. For those of you that are still hanging out, I'm going to work on going back into that recording the video clip and getting it fast forwarded to the spot that we had our problem. So you guys saw we got out of this one. We had the PCM was not responsive, and right now the PCM's off. Back on. Let's go ahead and see what we have here. you'll see we have millivolts, 138 millivolts. So that rear drivetrain control unit is powering up and basically turning the PCM and a bunch of other stuff on. So far the ABS still has not went to sleep on me, but with that module disconnected, I do believe I have myself a runner. Now, I'm still kind of messed up by that message. They're not going on. Oh, I gotta get the key. This vehicle's been an enormous thorn in my side. I did have times when a PCM was airing out. I mean, it was just doing weird stuff. So I'm looking to make sure that security light went out, the red light went out, and we do have a check engine light. I still have to learn the throttle. I didn't even get that far. I've been working on this car for a long time, and it seems to me like it's happy again. And I wish I would have spent more time looking the last time at it, to be honest with you guys. Now, one thing I want to show you is, I showed you before, it says the door's open. Let me go ahead and take the key out of the vehicle, and we still have this message here. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect my scan tool. I don't know by chance if the scan tool is keeping this awake, because when we disconnected that rear drivetrain control unit before, it actually, you know, we had that message go off after a short period of time. But we do have a few other things disconnected which may be causing us problems. So I want to see that this goes away, and I'll get back to you guys in just a second. But that has been quite the adventure. I had a whole lot of trouble trying to get this vehicle programmed. The security wouldn't go through with a lot of talk on here and out saying I didn't program the computer. The computer programming aired out when it wanted a key cycle. We had all kinds of issues going on. So this still says press the park brake and push button start. So I'm going to come back in a few minutes, see what happens. Oh, look at that. Nope, one out. Sweet. I think we got it, guys. So as you see there, it did power down. That message went away for to press the brake and push the button to start. I didn't always have that message the very first time I went out to the vehicle. So, I mean, when I left the first time after doing restore configuration and all those module resets and proxy alignments, this thing turned off. It was just fine. There was no issues going on. But apparently that module is backfeeding every now and then, causing all those issues. So guys, I do appreciate you taking the time to watch. I'll probably end up having to redo this video because I don't think that the live stream came out the way I had hoped it did. I'll have that up there in a better copy for you all soon. You guys have a great day. Make sure you let me know if you have any questions. Just so you know, we are giving away those AES Wave U test lead kits. 2 more of those are getting given away in the next 2 months. So this month and next month, we'll be giving those away. Be sure to check out Hands On Auto Training if you have any questions. And guys, thank you for bearing with me as I'm working on doing the live stream stuff. I'm going to get better at this. I am going to figure it out. Take care. Have a great day.